Good afternoon, students. I hope you are well. So we will continue our chemistry lessons. Okay. So we have finished chapter 6. Okay. And now, as always, we answer the study guide together. So I chose a few questions and I make it as a study guide. And as always, we solve it together so we can understand the chapter. Then we move to the next. Okay. So let's start together. So question number one. So multiple choice. The charge on an ion, okay, is it always positive, always negative, either positive or negative or zero? Now it's obvious, any ion, so it could be positive or negative. Okay, so A, B, and D is wrong. So the answer is C. Okay, so question two. Now, according to the octet rule, a calcium atom has a tendency to, you see now calcium, if you go to the periodic table, it is in group 2. So it's metals. So in group 1 and 2, they tend to lose. Okay? So group 1, I told you before, it loses 1 electron. It loses 1 electron. Group 2 loses 2 electrons. So calcium in group 2. So the answer is B. Okay? So this is the correct answer, B. So let's continue now. Question number 3. If a compound forms by ionic bonding, which is not true? So he's saying which of these is wrong? Let's read. You see, A, a positively charged atom or group of atoms attracts a negatively charged atom or group of atoms. That's correct. Positive attracts a negative, so it is not wrong. B, the net charge of the compound is 0. That's also correct. C, the compound contains just 2 atoms, each of opposite charge. No, we can have also other more than 2 atoms. So C is the wrong one. Question number 4. The only property listed that is not characteristic of ionic compound is what? Which one? It is not characteristic of ionic compounds. We took it before. Number 4, the answer is C. Okay, number 4, the answer is C. This is not a characteristic of an ionic compound. So let's continue now. Question number 5. Which formula listed below represents a polyatomic ion? So now you should know polyatomic ion, it means ion with more than one atom. So is it A, B, C, or D? You see, C or D, one atom. So it's not. A or B, it's obvious. B, it is not an ion, so the answer is A. Okay. Question number 6. The crystal structure of an ionic compound depends on the what? Which one? Okay, A, B, C, or D. Okay, now you can see here A and B is correct. So the answer is D, both A and B. Okay, so it depends on the sizes of the cations and anions, and it also depends on the ratio of cations to anions. So let's continue now. The melting point of ionic compounds are higher than the melting points of molecular compounds. Because of what? Now we took this before. I explained it in the previous lessons. Okay, so 7, which one is correct? Okay, it's obvious. C. Attractive forces between ions are greater than the attractive forces between molecules. I said this before. So, question 8. A covalent bond is formed when 2 atoms. Now we took this, covalent bonding. So there will be sharing of electrons. Now be careful in this question, he's trying to trick you. Look at A. So it's not gaining here. So C, D wrong. A or B? Okay, now A. Share an electron with each other. Share one or more pairs of electrons with each other. I think now you know the correct answer. The correct answer is B. Here, not just an electron, one or more pairs of electrons with each other. Okay, so 8B. Let's continue. Now, 11. 2 atoms will likely form a polar covalent bond if the electronegativity difference, okay, here the answer is B. So the difference of electronegativity is 1, you will have a polar covalent bond. Okay, so number 12. In which of these compounds is the bond between the atoms not a nonpolar covalent bond? Not, it is not a nonpolar covalent bond. So you can see it's obvious. It is HCl because Cl2 it is a non-polar covalent bond. H2, O2. So the only one is wrong. It is not a non-polar covalent bond. It is HCl. Okay, so let's continue. Now, bonding in molecules or ions that cannot be represented adequately by a single Lewis structure is represented by, now we took this before, when I cannot draw a single Lewis structure for this compound, okay, or molecules, okay. Now, why? Now, we took this. It was the lesson about resonance. So the answer is A, resonance structures, okay. The answer of 13 is A. So number 14, as the electronegativity difference between bonded atoms decreases, the bond becomes more. You see, the answer is obvious, A, covalent. You see, because electronegativity almost none, okay? So, or decreases in this question, so it will become more covalent, okay? So here are the answers for you. I chose from 1 to 14, okay? So let's continue now to another type of questions. So write the correct term or terms in the space provided. So 9, a covalent bond in which the bonded atoms have an unequal attraction for the shared electrons is called what? Okay, I will give you a second to think. It's called what? It is called a polar covalent bond. So for 9, it is called a polar covalent bond. Okay? So number 10, a molecule containing 2 atoms is called what? It's easy, a diatomic molecule. So here it is called a diatomic molecule. Now, number 11, the degree to which bonding between atoms of 2 different elements is ionic or covalent can be determined from the differences in what? Of the elements. In what? How can we determine if it's ionic or covalent? I will give you a second to think. Okay, differences in the electronegativities, okay, of the elements, and I explained before. So 12, a neutral group of atoms held together by covalent bonds is called what? That's easy, come on. It is a molecule, okay? Now, the electron dot notation for hydrogen atom is what? That's also very easy. The dot notation for hydrogen, just you write H and dot next to it, okay? So here are the answers, okay? You can see here, okay, the very easy questions, okay. So this is the end of our lesson. Thank you.